Greetings, Ed. Welcome into Ankh Plays. Thanks for joining me here in Anvilseal, Zuntergimbish, once again, for what is now episode 60 of our inaugural playthrough of a Dwarf Fortress campaign here on the channel. I'm glad to have you aboard. So it's been a while since we've actually looked down here, and I thought for episode 60 we'd start off with a couple of things. First and foremost, I think we should honor the fallen that we've lost in the past 10 or so episodes, since episode 50. And so we'll start off by doing that. Then we're going to run through our dwarven watch list as kind of the fortress continues. And then we'll get back to work on some of the little projects that we've got laying around in this fortress. Now you'll notice that this is our temple right here. And it's the temple, what we call the Hall of Remembrance, but it's the Fatal Temple. And it is for citizens and long-term residents only. And it's dedicated to Rakust, and that is the god of death. So all of our dwarves here that have been lost in the fort, at least the ones that we know of, have been interred here. And they are, resting peacefully in their graves, of course. But we have this beautiful temple that we've kind of created for them to memorialize the sacrifices that they've made for the metropolis. And we're sitting at 149 dwarves, as you can see. So let's go ahead and take a look. It looks like we've lost 9 since our previous, since episode number 50. And so we'll start off here with a Realgar statue of Letast Toolstabbed. And Letast passed in what I have here is episode 51, and she was killed in the lava after Noshtath was opened in the cavern layer, and this was us trying to get in control of the cavern layer, and of course I gave a bad digging order and lava came rushing through. And we're lucky that we didn't actually flood the cavern layer with lava in that case. Created by Legend Carver, of course. Also in that same episode, we lost one of our original dwarves, unfortunately. Aesop Chaselance, or as you might have recalled, Binmaker. He was our manager, and he was also killed in the same lava flood that Letast Toolstabbed was killed in episode 51. Now, Binmaker had been our primary carpenter. He had been our manager for a long time, and just kind of, I think he actually did some woodcutting as well at one point. And his time in Anvilseal is now over, unfortunately. Rest in peace, Binmaker. He has a couple of artifacts laying around here somewhere. And we might run across them as we go through artifacts. In that same episode, which was a deadly episode, if you ask me, we also lost Mistim Labor Fines. He was not killed by lava, though, and instead killed by Orshar Lurbisek, a forgotten beast, who invaded from the cavern layer, and Mistim was not quick enough. Well, he was actually killed fighting the Forgotten Beast, is what it looks like, because he's a militia commander. I should probably put that in my notes here, just to say, hey, he was a militia commander. There we go. We won't forget you, Mistim. Moving on to episode 54, Ilral Glovecraft. There was a vulture invasion, and there were some dwarves outside, and what I think happened is Ilral dodged off of the bridge and into the lava, and is now, we couldn't actually find the body, of course, because it was consumed by the lava in the lava moat, but we did memorialize Ilral in episode 54. Kind of a deadly sequence of episodes, if I'm counting correctly here, because moving on to episode 55, we lost another 2 dwarves, another Letast, but this time Letast Brassbridge. And as we were going through the efforts to control and secure the first cavern layer, the Forgotten Beast Ratha bite targets consumed 2 dwarves in episode number 55. So Letast Brassbridge was one of them. And then, of course, Autumn Sect Clasp was also the second dwarf. Unfortunately, both of them perished. We were able to retrieve their bodies, and they now reside, or their remains reside, above the tavern, where they can always be with their friends and family during the good times that happen in the tavern. That was episode 55. We went a couple of episodes without any deaths, and then as we continue to do work on the water or the hydrology problem that we have in the first cavern layer to get access to some of the good stuff there, we lost 2 other dwarves in episode 58. One of them drowned, and the other one was killed by a vulture, a giant vulture during a vulture incursion. This is Letast Brassbridge here. We'll talk about water drinks though, or Godin Muscle Handle, and this was just a couple of episodes ago, but I'm sure that you remember. Godin was one of the dwarves that fell into a deep pool of water as we were trying to do some work in that area of the cavern and manage water, and some bad pathing on the game's part. Godin was able to climb out the first time, but then pathed back into it and drowned the second time, unfortunately. And then, of course, Aerith Crushed Figure, which I'm not going to even comment on that last name, but killed by a giant vulture during the giant vulture incursion. And then, most recently, I believe it was episode 59, Abin Spear Amuses, which is our most recent death here. And I believe he drowned as well. So, a little moment of silence for the dwarves that we lost in the last 10 episodes. And if you need more silence, then just pause the video and come back when you're ready. But for now, let's focus on things moving forward. It is the early autumn of the year 62, so we're expecting a trade caravan soon, and I'm imagining we'll get a trade caravan very, very soon. But let's go ahead and run through our dwarven watch list, and we have quite a few. A few dwarves that are no longer on the watch list, of course, is Bronze Lance, or Meng Ordergem. He died in a battle with a camel. Camel Slayer, of course, Vukar Uremkovish, or Father Lanters, as his normal name is, or his surname is pronounced. He died by the hands of Rashker Eagle Crushed, the Bronze Colossus, but started off by killing a one-humped camel way back at the beginning of the series. And then, of course, the tragic death of Mother. She was on our watch list as well. She lasted 40 episodes, was the first adult migrant to Anvilseal, and brought her four boys, some of who remain, and died in battle with the Bronze Colossus. And our Duke Dabbles, his younger sister. A couple of other dwarves that or another dwarf that made the watch list, who is no longer with us, but has been expelled from the fort. We don't know if she's still alive, but Doran Bridge Prairie, that's Stigma, as some of you may know. She had a habit of starting tavern brawls, and I have that she killed, well, a lot of dwarves. We've taken to calling her a serial killer as well. She was since expelled from Anvilseal, and she will not be welcome back. Those are the dwarves that were on the watch list, that for whatever reason are no longer being watched. But we do have several dwarves that we want to check in on. The first dwarf that I want to check in on is going to be Herdslayer. If I can type it. Kib. Right now he's headed to his... Well, he's asleep in his room right now. And Kib Seal Gems. He looks like he's doing all right. He's got some martial training needs. Is he in the military? He is not. But he wants martial training. You know, I think maybe we add him to our list of dwarves that... We add him to our list of dwarves that need martial training. I just kind of think that maybe that's a good idea, you know? We've got plenty of them, and he's been around for a long time, so we'll add him to the list, since we are getting close to completing our pyramid for our next squad. I like it. And if we look at him, he's got many friends in the fortress, close friends, kindred spirits, lots of folks here who... Many dwarves. He worships Udar. And it looks like he is part of the Doctrine of Coloring, of course. He's in the Farmers Guild and the Planters Guild. And he's had some wounds. It looks like he still has some wounds right now. Slow to heal, but quick to tired, and he has a fractured left wrist right now. So maybe once he's feeling better and the fracture in his wrist is healed, we'll tap him for some military service. Maybe becoming an axe dwarf. Now, if I look at his skills, does he have combat skills that lend him to a specific type of fighting? And it looks to be no. He's an expert student and expert at concentration. He's a dwarf worthy of the name, I'd say. I'm glad to have you here. What is your labor like? He is a planter, so he's a farmer. He's probably ready for a fight. Let's move on, and we're going to look now at... Oops, come on. We're going to look at Dabbles. And what is he up to right now? Well, he's hauling pigtail thread. 58 years old, 6 children. He needs a lot of time to pray. He wants to learn something. He does have a wound right now. He was attacked recently in a bar brawl. And fortunately for us, his only injury was to his neck, and it's been sutured. He'll probably be fine. I think Vabok is perished. Mother is, of course, perished. But yeah, he's got a lot of deities, and he doesn't really know too many people in the fortress. I mean, he's got all of his family, and several of his family are here. Um, but he has been our duke for a long time, Seabrook Ironclock. And, you know, I'm going to put him down for martial training as well. Right now he's part of the siege operators, but he wants martial training. And, you know, what we could do is we could put some dwarves who want martial training into a squad and have them train. They don't have to fight, but they could train. I haven't thought too terribly much about that, and that might actually be a good idea to help. So, of course, Dabbles, he's part of all kinds of different... he's a former count, former baron. He's the Duke of Anvilseal right now. He's a member of the Craftsdwarves Guild, a member of the Mighty Anvils, and then these are the past two places that he's been part of. He has 2 giant vulture kills to his name, just because he's a siege operator and he fires our machine gun bolt throwers. And, yeah, a little bit of dejection because he can't pray. But he does keep himself pretty busy. And, of course, sad seeing that his daughter passed. He finds something humorous in everything, no matter how serious or inappropriate. It's strengthening after wearing old clothing in the year 60. Sad and dejected. Yeah, I would say so. Doesn't mind being outdoors, and he doesn't really care about anything anymore. Well, you're only 58, buddy. You got a long ways to go. But yeah, Dabbles. It seems like he's doing okay. Maybe not the happiest, but he does his best. And we're thankful to have him. He certainly keeps busy, that's for sure. Moving on, let's go to Stumpy. That's not how you spell Stumpy. But our favorite dwarf, or one of our favorite dwarves. Would you look at that? So he's got a kind of a happy face to his name right now. He's 93 years old now. And he's in a good mood. Is this 10 episodes where Stumpy has been in a good mood? He's wearing old clothing right now. And satisfied at work? I mean, he's a dabbling siege operator. He wants to be with family, make merry, admire art, take it easy, learn something. These are needs that I didn't think I would ever see Stumpy with. He's wanted to work, and he's wanted to do this and that. And, of course, the guy is ability to grasp somewhat impaired. His right hand is gone. That's the big thing. And, you know, he's he's had quite a storied past with the fortress. He's been injured several times here. And yeah, still some injuries, some wounds right now from his most recent bout, and I've forgotten what happened there. But a legendary planter, a legendary stone cutter, engraver, mason, stone crafter. What kind of skills are we looking at here? Legendary planter. Man, not a bad thresher. Yeah, stone cutter and planter. That's what Stumpy's been up to. He's not a bad he's actually pretty persuasive. Not a bad persuader. And he knows some poems. So he's got a little house here, decent quarters, and a whole bunch of clothing that probably needs to be cleaned up. I don't know if we should go through and take care of some of this stuff. Obviously, it's kind of gnarly. And we are doing something about our clothing industry. We just have not been keeping up. But yeah, so Stumpy's doing well. I'm really excited about that. He's looking to take it easy, which I'm extraordinarily surprised about. And he's, mildly happy, which is crazy. Okay, moving on. The dwarf watch list continues. Let's check in on Mayor. He is ecstatic. This guy is just one of the best mayors that we could have ever had. I'm so thankful. He was just recently re-elected, I think, in last episode. He's 101 years old right now. He has a lover who is in the fortress, I believe, Tholtig Relic Portals. And right now he's working on pigtails here. It looks like he's kind of doing the same thing that Seabrook is up here. They're hauling pigtails, moving lots and lots of cloth. He also wants martial training. I'm going to add him to the list. And he wants to be with his family. Let's take a look at his family and see who is around. We have no idea. There's no family that is on his list. So he's obviously not a noble, but he's taken a lover. He used to be the Sacred Hollow and the High Crystal. Well, from the Sacred Hollow to High Crystal of the Oily Doctrine, and has since relinquished those positions to focus fully on being the mayor. However, one of the most active Oily Doctrine, Mighty Anvils, of course, the Farmers Guild, and then the Planters Guild as well. So just a very, very active dwarf. He has 6 kills. He's one of our siege operators, and boy, this guy's a gunner for those vultures, isn't he? Look at that. 6 vultures dead. Improving growing, being at work, loneliness from being away from family, of course. Let's take a look at some of his memories. Lots of memories tied up here, and mandate deadline met. Okay, so keeping your nobles happy. Here's why you want to keep your nobles happy, if you ever were wondering. Jovial. I don't think I've ever seen that as a memory or a descriptive word for a thought, but having a mandate deadline met. If you meet the deadlines for mandates, building, beds or crossbow bolts or what have you, well, they get these happy thoughts, and that's one of the reasons why he's such a happy dwarf. He's been teaching threshing and dining in a fantastic dining rooms. Blissful, yeah. He's got a fantastic bedroom as well. Keep doing a good job. Keep doing a good job. You'll keep getting elected, and you'll be able to stay in that fantastic dining room and bedroom. We don't have him on any specific labors. And, new romance in 46, so I think they've been lovers for a while. I wonder if there's a way to see, like, how long that relationship has lasted. Maybe Tholtig will tell us. She has a lot of contacts here in the fortress as well. I can't really tell when they got together, but they're both about the same age. Excellent. I'm glad the mayor's doing well. All right, we have a few more. Oh, actually, quite a few more. Let's go. Let's check in on Etten Slayer now. He's asleep. He's doing pretty well. For some reason, he's decided He wants to sleep here. Obak, what are you doing? What are you doing? Plenty of good friends in the fortress. He used to be a member of the Craft Stores Guild, but now is a member of the Farmers Guild and the Planters Guild. And now he's the militia commander. And also the chief medical dwarf? Wow. And part of the oily doctrine. This guy's all over the place, man. He's the real deal. I don't know even how to say that, but he's got his shield and his hammer named. And Embraces your chartreuse, the Etten. That's how he got his name, Etten Slayer, back in 48. Just kind of a legendary personality. More thoughtless. How is your health? He's basically unbreakable, absolutely inexhaustible, very agile, and very strong. Gosh. What a terrifying creature. If we look at his combat skills, yeah, level 39 is a legendary hammer dwarf. And a talented biter, to boot. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. He's a very good teacher as well. Seems like he's doing all right. And at 106, you know, he's doing well. All right, a newer addition. And we haven't heard much from this dwarf in the past 10 episodes. But we're going to look in on him all the same. Is Tobol Rough Syrup. And you'll probably remember his mother, Zolben, is a diagnostician, and his father sacrificed himself to basically save the residence hall. He's now 11 years old. He was born right after that. And he's doing pretty well, if I'm honest. He's kind of doing masonry and engraving and planting. He's got a few more years before he becomes a zany adult. He has a lot of passing acquaintances. And, yeah, no kills or anything like that. Lots of really good thoughts, though. He has a bad memory, which is interesting. He's seen a few... He's had some trauma in his life, for sure. And it seems like he's doing okay, aside from that. He's wearing 2 crowns. I'm sorry. He's wearing 5 crowns. Little devil is really, really kidded himself out. No wounds. He's a little clumsy, but he's very tough. Let's just look at overview. He's an observer, a dabbling observer, striker, and dodger. He's been in a fight, so... Seems like he's doing pretty well. And he's taken to life here in the fortress quite quickly, if I'm being honest. So he's 11 now? Man, they grow up so fast. Let's move on. We've got just a few dwarves left to go here. We haven't checked in on this dwarf in quite a while. And that is Cyclops Bane, Kib, Dance Labors. Kib is hauling some granite for us right now. And 94 years old. And it looks like wanted some martial training. Now wants to fight, acquire an object, excitement, socialize, be with friends and family, of course. but is also a legendary miner. I'm going to just check. Yeah, you're not on the mining labor anymore. That was screwing things up. So that's good. Lustful. Now, she is... she was a friend of Binmaker's and Mebzith. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, there's... Well, that's sad. Two of her friends have passed on here in Anvilseal, unfortunately. But she's still friends with quite a few other people. 3 of her friends, long-term acquaintance, so almost a friend. And yeah, still a member of the Umbral Hall, which is the Miners Guild. Gigan the Lustrous, the Cyclops, and 3 Vultures. Those are her kills to her name. Iffy sense for music, and just looking at her skills. Legendary Miner. Legendary Observer, a Legendary Fighter, Legendary Hammer Dwarf. I didn't realize that their skills could really progress so high. I know we saw 39 earlier, but it's really interesting to me. So Kib Cyclops Bane, or Cyclops Bane as we call her, doing well. She is in the Silvery Anvil still. Still wants to fight. Got to get you into a fight, for being honest. Okay. Let's move on to another Hammer Lord. Bemble. Mind Inc. Bemble. Or as his name indicates, his nickname indicates, Talonist. 101 years old, legendary organizer. He doesn't do a lot of labor, it looks like, around the fortress. He wants to be with friends and family. He liked to cause trouble. If I remember correctly, Talonist, in the fight with the bronze Colossus, took a fairly severe wound to the heart. Very slow to heal, unbreakable, unbelievably strong. Doesn't seem like he was ever wounded though, so I might have that wrong. He's got some dwarven wine and some meals with him, yeah, just a pillar of Anvilseal. And I think he is currently the manager, if I'm not mistaken. That's what that says. Let's just make sure of that. He is, yes. This is going to make Seabrick very unhappy because we're not going to be able to meet this. We can't make a bismuth bronze bed. But Talonist is doing well. Wants to cause trouble. Please don't cause too much trouble, Talonist. Okay, we've got 3 left. And then I promise we'll move on and we'll kick time forward here. Let's check in on Deadeye. Now, Deadeye is doing very well. She's ecstatic. She wants to argue and make merry, cause trouble, and of course, be with friends and family. She's collecting sand right now. But she has joined... She's joined the Silvery Anvil, which is our silver hammer dwarves, and she's got a named hammer. If we go to our social here, Deadeye, she originally shot a whole bunch of... We'll look at her kills in a minute, but she originally got the name from killing several, I believe it was vultures, and wanted to be in the military really badly, and now she's become a legendary hammer dwarf, which is just amazing. No longer a siege operator, so perhaps the nickname was misplaced, but I think it's fine. Yeah, Rathabite targets the Forgotten Beast, and Tolis Wisdom Smiled the Willful Match. So an Etten and a Forgotten Beast, And then 2 vultures. Yeah, doing well. Muthcat, Deadeye, we're glad to have you here in the fortress. 95 years old when we check in on her today. And let's check in on, second to last, our penultimate dwarf, Illidan, who is also a siege operator. She's doing pretty well as well. She's a master siege operator, and she's definitely... If we go to her kills here, she killed Athrig, the Forgotten Beast, and then 5 other kills, 5 vultures. People are usually not prepared for her. And Illidan is her dwarven surname. Lots of passing acquaintances. I don't see anyone who's a friend. Yeah, still doing really well. She wants martial training as well, so we're going to add her to that list that I keep right here next to all of my other notes. And she might get on the list to go into martial training. We have enough people to put into a fairly substantial just training squad if we wanted to. And at 60 years old, well, she's got her whole life ahead of her, you know? Master Siege Operator. That's pretty crazy. Okay, last one, and there's not going to be much to report on this individual, I can tell you that. But let's take a look at Legend Carver. He is absolutely ecstatic. He has a grim job. But absolutely ecstatic. We're going to change this so I can find him again. He's a planter. Solon work vessels, or Ducimeral. And, at 53 years old, like, I keep kind of thinking that he's a little bit more older than his age lets on. Now, he's got a very interesting romantic entanglement here. It looks like... Oh, yeah, he is related to... He's related to quite a few... He knows a lot of people in the fortress, you guys, and he's carved every single statue that we have in the Temple of Death. He's got a niece who's a minor. The clothier who's a younger half-sister. His youngest son is Bronze Lance, who I think we checked in on already. And, yeah, I mean, just most of his family is here. What a great guy, you know? No military squads or anything like that. Let's take a look, though. He really does want martial training. So we'll add him to the list of potential dwarves. Now, to that note, let's go ahead and check in on that pyramid. We've got almost all of it done, right? And this will be our Axe Dwarf pyramid. There's not really room for another pyramid of the same size, although I suppose we could build one over here. For another squad, maybe we figure out another place to put our windmills, although that seems very foolish, since our windmills actually do interact with with this pyramid here in some regard. But yeah, we do have some flooring that still needs to go in here. And I'm just going to see. I don't think we have any. Yeah, we only have the rose gold bars. So we are looking for more gold. And the primary reason is to finish that pyramid. Okay, that's vulture blood. So we're not going to be super concerned with that. Lots of work going on still out in the cavern layer here. And I want to say that is because have we closed this all off here? Kind of. This area is closed off at least. And then of course we've got our friends here, now we have this. That's right, I had forgotten about this. So if we zoom out, we've got this huge mining project that we're doing. And we are just going to let this area kind of flood. And carve out along here. So that we can get... so hopefully we can retrieve these bodies. Because this is a huge amount of water here that's coming out. And I'm not sure how we're going to be able to do it. I really hope we can, though. So, and then we've got more water coming in on this side of the map as well. So we're probably going to have to do some redirection here. I don't know exactly how this is going to work, you guys. This has been kind of a nightmare for me. We've spent so much time in this part of the map, and for so little, really. Like, I mean, we made this area here, and, nothing has really come of it. We made this big escape here, and nothing's really come out of that either. It's just been one of those deals that's been very, very disappointing. And as you can see, I think we need to fill this in as well. But yeah, we need basically oh, that's right. So the idea here was to isolate these two. So this one here is flowing out here or out into this mess here. And then this one, which is much smaller, by the way, will redirect into this area here. But we have to get flooring over this area to do that, to isolate it. So we're going to do some flooring, and hopefully we're going to keep an eye on our dwarves. And we'll make sure that they don't come from this direction. They shouldn't actually be able to get out here at all. Just double check here. Yeah, no way to get through there. No way to get through there. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. And someone should be coming down to do that. Rovad, the cook, is coming down to work on that. And they should be coming from this direction here. And it is a little bit of a trek. Like, they have to go up through here and then come back down. It's a mess of trees here. Just double checking on this. Is this area secure? Sure seems like it. I think this area is also secure. I guess we'll find out real quick now, won't we? And just waiting for that to happen. And there's definitely more gold that we could get out of here for our pyramid. And I'm kind of tempted to scout along it, but we're just not going to. We're gonna work on getting this area secure as far as the floor here, so that the water is running in the direction that we want it to. We've got the Forgotten Beast Atu. A feathered mite. He's a mite. Long antennae and belches and croaks. Its eyes glow violet. Its glacier blue feathers are long and narrow. Beware of its poisonous vapors. Atu, welcome to the fort. Your time here will be short. Let's find out where you're at. So he is down here on, I believe this is that, yeah, this is the third cavern layer. And he's gone. Unfortunately, I was hoping we'd get a fight there. That would have been nice. But he's in the third cavern layer. I guess we could let him out. Here we go. Don't fall in. Headed back. Okay. So we're going to put floor over this next piece here now. And again, trying to patch this area. And here come the trade caravans. It's a bad time to let that mite out of the third cavern layer. Because he might come, he might not. Job's taken by a miner. Doran? Oh, okay, yeah, Doran. This might cause water to actually come into this area. I didn't really think about that. But we have quite a bit of work here that we have to do in terms of putting floor in. And I'm thinking that we'll just do this area first. And hopefully the water doesn't like start channeling into this area. I don't think it will. And then we've got to go block this area up and secure it. But I don't want to do that until we have this area kind of secure. Yeah, we need to go back upstairs here. And we've got to get goods moved to the trade depot. And I'm gonna roll through this quickly, just off camera, and then I'll come back, and we can continue with the episode. Okay, so we have a ton of stuff that's going to be traded today. And the merchants are still arriving, so we're going to focus on the task at hand. But I did go through and mark a whole bunch of stuff for trading that really needs to be traded. And, you know, of course, it's mostly food. A good chunk of drink this time. Some raw materials, some trinkets and whatnot that the dwarves have been putting together. Let's do our diplomacy. Mayor is going to sit down with Feb Letzmusler. I'm your liaison to the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. Hey, the world is the same as ever. And we get to ask for some stuff. So normally what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll say, bring us logs. Because we can never have enough logs. You know, if you would bring steel bars, I would not say no to that. And then we're just looking for straight stone. Oh, this drives me crazy. I don't want stone blocks. I just want stone. And we want our flux-stone and our fuel. So we'll go with the usual here. And that is limestone, dolomite, chalk, and we're looking for calcite and marble. There's marble. Bring some gold nuggets. What the heck? There's our bituminous coal. We're looking for lignite as well. And it's just calcite now, which I think is towards the bottom. You'd think I'd know with how many times I've had to do this, but it never sticks, you guys. There's calcite. I think that's really the only things that we'd like to ask for. And they want headwear and cheese. Those are odd requests. I was writing these down, and I'm just not anymore. Okay, so he's on his way, or she's on her way to create this. They're unloading their goods. Okay. And once we get a couple of these tiles in, we'll go ahead and check to see how close we are to being ready for dangerous terrain because there's water there. Oh no. I don't know what to do with these guys anymore, you guys. I just don't. Why? I really don't know how to handle this. Why did he go that direction? There's no earthly reason. Come on, climb out, buddy. You can do it. Well, if he found Abin's dead body. Oh, he drowned very quickly. I don't know what to say, guys. I just don't. Part of me wants to give up on this and just not deal with it anymore. Because like, there's no reason for him to go that direction. Why would you go that direction? And then why would you path back in here? There's something beyond screwed up. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. Like, all this area is don't go in here, right? They look hard for better routes. Don't go down here. And we have not been able to... Haven't been able to do it. Just haven't. For whatever reason. And we can't do a slab yet. God, that is frustrating. Extremely frustrating. I don't know. Like, I'm totally flummoxed by this. I don't understand. It doesn't make an ounce of sense. I think what we're going to do is we are just going to wait for... This is probably what I said and then just forgot. But from here on out, we're just going to wait on this. None of this stuff happens until this gets done down and below. Because this is where all of this is a huge force of water. It's not coming out this way like we had hoped. Just, it's not big enough and you can't get the water to go around there. So we've got to figure out a way to retrieve those bodies. And it's going to have to be, by digging along here. And I don't know what else to say, guys. It's embarrassing, to say the least. Okay, we've got our Asmar. He's down here, hanging out. Got 3 items left for our trade, and then we'll take care of the trade. That should be pretty quick. Let's have the broker... Let's have Fath get over here. I want to get this trade done. The trader's ready to trade. We are not quite ready to trade. We're waiting on a broker and... one additional item. I have no idea where that item is. Yeah, but we'll wait until that water is super dangerous. It's almost worse than lava. But most liquids you should keep your dwarves away from. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Okay, so here comes Fath. We're still waiting on that last item. Maybe you're bringing it? No. You're just hauling pigtail cloth away. Oh, dear. Oh, okay, so he's having a drink first. All right. We're going to see some job cancellations, obviously. That's Fath. What are you doing? You're going to eat. There's a bunch of food on this table, and he's after the food. That's fine. Yeah, he's been missing for a week. Okay. Now we can do our slab. Doran. And then we are going to make a rock statue. Let's go with Nice. Hall crosses. Yet another one. Passing on. Going to the great beer hall in the sky. We don't want him coming back and haunting us. Oh, yeah, we're ready to trade. Okay, let's do this. Let's get rid of all these guys. We do have some stuff that we're not using that I'm just throwing out. Not throwing out, but, you know, we'll get a little bit of money for it. $45K going their way. We're gonna take the gold bar. Take the platinum bar too. What the heck? Why not? And there's a steel bar. Oh, there's a bunch of steel bars. Gimme. Can I search for steel? We'll take that steel battle axe. Take a couple of steel picks. A steel shield. Let's do a couple of sets of steel gauntlets. We don't need anvils or bolts. Why, you guys didn't... Oh, I was like, you didn't bring us much. I'm looking at steel. That would be why. Don't need any blocks. But I am looking for your stone. You're bringing us lots and lots of clay. There's some coal. That's what we like. Lignite, dolomite, chalk, marble, calcite. Oh yeah, there's the good stuff right there. Look at all that. Yum, yum, yum. Boy, they really brought a bunch of it this time, didn't they? Don't really need chains or flasks. Nothing's jumping out at me in the instrument section. We're certainly not getting any more toys. Nothing jumping out there. know what? We can just pick up these guys here. It's a really nice tunic. Some dwarf's gonna like that. They can wear some togas, dresses, shoes. Don't really need high boots. Let's get some socks out of this, though. It's alright. Take some gloves. Sure, mittens as well. No boxes. I guess we could go dwarven sugar. Yeah, I'll take some sugar this time. Got plenty of dye, but I don't think my jobs are set up to take a bunch of different dye. And if I'm honest, I don't really want to go do that just yet. Although, at some point, we probably should. Because they've got a bunch of different dyes there. Let's take that bin. Take that bin. Take the pigtail cloth as well. Oh, pig leather. I thought that said pigtail leather, and I was about to get very, very confused. Take some leather bins, just because we make the leather into bags, and we can always use more bags, you know? Give me some more pigtail. We don't need fish. We'll take all of your leaves and fruit, and all of those leaves and fruit, and all of those leaves and fruit, and all of those leaves and fruit. We don't need thread. We'll buy your trousers. Some loincloths while we're at it, just to round things out, you know? We could just take this cheese and then sell it back to them next year, but that's too much work. I don't want to do that. A native gold bookcase. I think that's all. So, trader profit is 32k. Which is great. We'll trade. Wonderful. Thank you for your business. No, thank you. And we didn't really get rid of too much food, if I'm honest. Probably a lot of our prepared meals. I tried to get rid of a bunch of prepared meals because those are the most valuable. We did lose a miner in the most recent drowning. Doran Hallcrosses was a miner. And so we need to bring somebody else back into the fold. But I don't want to bring folks in who are otherwise engaged. So we'll take Cyril. And that's going to bring us up to 8. I think it's 8 miners. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 miners. It'll bring us up to 10 miners, which is good. And yeah, so we've been working on moving all of this stuff downstairs. And as you can see, this is all kind of still stacked up along here. So we're moving it down to our crafting location. And we had kind of done some stuff here to... I don't know. We'd kind of done some stuff here to basically get all of these weaving things going. And now we've got our dyer's shop down here. And now we've got our clothier's shop. And we've got 4 of them. These are our bag making shops. Let's check a look at our jobs. Because that made sense. Let's check a look at the jobs. And what I see here is weave thread into cloth. And we've got the thread dyeing going on. And let's just check these guys here. So unused collected plant thread is greater than 30, then we'll weave. And so we are not at that... whoops. Let's do thread. We've got a bunch of cave spider silk thread. And we have 4,106 pigtail thread. Okay, so that's a lot of thread. And it looked to me like all of that thread was dyed. So these jobs should just be... Whoops. These jobs should just be cranking stuff out. And it looks like they are. Yeah, okay, excellent. So we've got a couple of clothiers here. Let's check our clothier labor. Because you want your clothiers to be... Okay, so we've got 4 legendaries. And then Kadol is an adept. Now, he is also on labor 6, which is a siege operator. So that's okay. That's okay. I'm all right with that. We could add Cogsack to that, who's accomplished. In fact, I will, because that's going to give us 6. And yeah, that'll be better. We have a set of weavers. Oh my gosh, there are so many of them. Zan Roderlogum, he's the first star. He's also could be added as a weaver because he's a legendary one. Okay, so we've got plenty of weavers. We don't have a lot of millers. Interesting. Let's put Vabuk, Shegek Tmaim on there. Let's see who else. Can we just grab... You're a novice miller, so that's fine. He's on 2, so he's a brewer. Don't want to pull him off of that. He is a clothier, so we don't want to pull him off of that. That's okay to be a miner and a siege operator. We have some peasants here, and we definitely need millers, right? Like, this is something that 2, 4, 6, 7. Maybe I'll just go with 8. Let's find a peasant we can impose our will upon. Oh, did we get rid of all the peasants? Well, that's hilarious. Let's find someone who's not in the military. Sodal, Babendeller. I just happened to look in your general direction. So milling is the act of basically working these guys here, these dimple mills. And I want to make sure that our jobs are set up correctly for that. And I think they are. Because we've got these mill dimple cup. Yeah, so let's take a look here. Yeah, we're short on the bags. That's what we're missing. So once we get enough bags... You know what? I'm just going to take that off, and I'm going to see... I'm going to take it off 2 of them. And I'm going to see if we get an increase. I'm just going to take it off all of them. And I'm going to see if we get an increase on the amount of dye that we get created. They should be able to add more to those bags. Now let's see. Yeah, okay. So we don't have any thread right now. Whoops. But we could specify... Yeah, pigtail thread. Now, do we have pigtail plants? Got a whole bunch of pigtail coats, cloaks, tunics. Those are bags. Yeah, I've got 70 pigtails. So these have not been done. So what's going on here? Let's find out. So they're processing plants. Okay. I think that might be where the holdup here is. Process pigtails, process plants. Oh, hey, that's interesting. This one's process plants. And yeah, okay, so we did set up some pigtail processing jobs, which is great. So greater than 30, greater than 30, and greater than 30. So once we hit the 30 threshold, then we go through and do these. Now, where are these actually happening? Ah, here they are. Excellent. Okay, so I think we're in good shape. I can't find where this place is. Okay, yeah, it's by the Miners Guild here. And okay, so we've got all of this stuff here. Gosh. I'm trying to remember what I was ready to do here. So we need a stockpile for pigtail thread. No. These are going to make cloth, so yeah, we want a stockpile for thread here. Whoops. And we're going to make that, let's see here. Why can't we scroll that? This is just going to be all thread. And no bins allowed. And then let's make a track stop here as well. And then we're going to make another thread stockpile on the opposite side. no metal thread. Whoops, I gotta fix that other one too. I don't care if it's dyed, undyed. Silk, plant, yarn. Throw it in there. And then let's make that no bins. Going back here, this is going to be thread QS supply. Now we've got to drop back into this stockpile here and change something here because we don't want cloth at all in there. I just want thread. And non-metal thread, doesn't care. It doesn't matter what color. Doesn't matter if it's dyed or undyed. It goes in there. Then I have to go back here and check this because there's this little bug that if you make changes to this, it bumps your storage tools up again. Very busy dwarves. Okay. The track stop's done. Okay. So since the track stop is done, we can go here to hauling routes. And let's see, do we have a... Yeah, we got to get rid of all of our thread and cloth stockpiles using quantum stocks, because we don't want to do that anymore. Now we'll keep the clothing one because I believe that is in the bazaar. I think it's in the bazaars. This should be it. This is fresh clothing. Fresh clothing supply. Finished goods. What is going on here, guys? What is going on here? Oops. You know, maybe that's fine. We're going to go with it. Okay, let's wait for him to populate this little guy. Perfect. All right, so now we've got our new route. And this is going to be... the thread quantum stock. Let's find an unused lead minecart. Kaboom. And then here is stop 1, which is just the thread quantum stock. And this is going to take cloth, all thread, lovely. Take from the supply and give items to this guy here. So from the supply into the cart and then from the cart out. Get rid of those. These dwarves go through clothing like crazy. Tell you what. Got sea brick there? No. check in on those mandates. Yeah, he's still going to be unhappy with that. Okay, so all of the pigtail thread should start showing up in there, but we've got so many weavers. Okay, now we need our cloth stockpile, which is going to go right here. And I want to do that because... yeah, these guys are just going to be weaving or making clothing. And I'd like to generalize it. So, and what I mean by that is just don't make pigtail, make whatever. If you've got the thing, make it. I don't know if that's possible with the way that we have this set up, or at all, actually. Let's find track stop again. Let's make a new stockpile. Go to cloth. And now we don't want thread. We just want metal. We just want cloth in this guy. This will be the cloth supply. We're getting there, very slowly. Yarn, plant, silk, you name it, it's all there. I just set this, did I not? That one's right. How did that one not get set properly? Did I just skip over it? Gosh. Hopefully we can get out of using all of these bins. Just requires a little bit too much space. All right, let's do a new route. And we'll call it the cloth quantum stock. Take our next mine cart off the wall. Hello. Okay, we've got our stock there. And the cart gives to this guy and takes from this guy. And let's get cloth in here. All colors dyed or undyed. Only one little pigtail thread there. This is not going to be used very much because I've got so many weavers now that are kind of working this area, which is great. Yeah, we have people working, so just trying to keep up with... We might have overbuilt this, but I keep seeing dwarves with unhappy thoughts because they're wearing old clothing, and it's like, why? You should know better at this point. You know? So we should get a bunch of cloth that kind of stacks up here eventually. But I don't think we'll see too terribly much because we've got, the 6 weaving and the dyer shops. These are ready to go. Probably need to build up some quantum stockpiles or stockpile for the dye as well. And yeah, we can go from there. We'll throw some stuff for bags as well here. We've got leather workers making bags now. Real briefly, see how our mining project is going. Gosh, wouldn't you know it? It's gotten pretty expansive. These dwarves do not mess around, you guys. They work pretty hard on getting this stuff going. It's a big old open space, which is cool. What are we going to use it for? Water. That's it. And, we'll carve this all out so the water can flow out. And I don't even think that this whole area will get full. But, we're going to get some... Hopefully we find some gold down here. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But I think that this is a good place to leave episode 60. Thanks for coming along and joining me here in Zuntergembish, Anvilseal, the metropolis, here in the Planets of Soul. And as you go on about your day, well, don't forget to hit somebody with a little bit of kindness. And we'll see you next time.